their reputations are ruined. They like, who is going to want to work with them, especially as more and more comes out, especially as discovery comes out and depositions? To me, their careers are over.
We're very used to seeing like a Blake, right?
Did you ever think you'd see the day when Hollywood's so-called golden couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, would be banished from the Met Gala by none other than Anna Wintour herself?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were definitely uninvited from the Met Gala. Anna Wintour ain't got time to play these games.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds will be a no-show at Met Gala. Popular couple, often a fixture at the event.
Oh, but it happened, and guess what? It's not just the Met Gala that's turning their backs on them. From legal wars to plantation wedding controversies to bizarre editing bay hijackings, this power couple's rep is plummeting faster than you can say, "Don't collect $200. Get comfortable, folks, because we're about to dissect every scandalous moment that brought them from America's favorites to uninvited pariahs. And trust me, you won't believe how deep this meltdown goes. Let's jump in.
She's very unkind to reporters, and genuinely I think that there's just a lack of a better word there. She seems to hate the press junkets over the years. She barely seems to enjoy her fans. She kind of thinks that she's above her fans, thinks she's above the press, and is just always rude.
That clip pretty much sums up the shock factor everyone felt when news broke that Anna Wintour had blacklisted them. And yeah, it's a ban, not a pass or a maybe next time. So let's unravel how it escalated to that level. Anna Wintour's official stance? Crickets as usual. She doesn't need to talk. That's the brilliance of her power move. The Met Gala's invitation simply vanishes if you're persona non grata. But according to various leaked documents and hush-hush insiders, this ban is deeply tied to Blake allegedly challenging Anna's authority. Rumor has it that Blake, outraged by how Justin Baldoni was being favored in some fashion circles. Yes, that Justin Baldoni, actor-director at the center of that It Ends With Us fiasco, emailed Anna Wintour personally, accusing her of playing favorites. Let me tell you, in the fashion industry's unspoken rulebook, that is career suicide. You do not accuse Anna Wintour of anything, especially not favoritism, unless you want to be iced out. So, you can see why the 2025 Met Gala came and went, with absolutely no sign of Blake or Ryan. Let's remind everyone, the couple co-chaired the Met Gala in 2022. Anna Wintour loved them, but you crossed the Queen, you best believe you're getting exiled. Cue the meltdown. Exactly. They would steal the spotlight, although now it's for all the wrong reasons. Let's face it, nobody wants overshadowing drama overshadowing the biggest fashion event of the year. Another factor that fueled the meltdown, the re-emergence of a controversy from their past, that infamous plantation wedding. For years, it slid under the mainstream radar. But with the current wave of accountability, fans started screaming, "Tone deaf." Instead of a heartfelt apology, the couple stayed weirdly silent. This fiasco brewed quietly, but it definitely chipped away at the squeaky clean facade they once had. People now whisper, if you don't have the courtesy to address that, do you even deserve a seat at the Met Gala? Anna Wintour apparently decided the answer was no. And Hollywood hates bad press. Once the fans got riled up, major brands quietly began pulling away. So that wedding fiasco might have felt old, but in 2025, it's never been more relevant to the downward spiral of these two. So let's talk about how Justin Baldoni, of all people, ended up in the crosshairs. He's the director behind the film adaptation of It Ends With Us. Quick backstory. Allegedly, Blake Lively took it upon herself to hijack entire chunks of the creative process, especially in post-production. We're talking forcing high-end wardrobe changes that ballooned the budget, ignoring the modest vibe the character was supposed to have, and even taking over the editing bay for weeks. According to leaked court filings, she basically refused to hand over her version of the final cut until well after the agreed-upon date, allegedly strong-arming the studio by implying she'd raise harassment allegations if they didn't bend to her demands. Let's be real. If you threaten the studio and sabotage the project timeline, you're going to become a major liability. So it's no surprise that both the film's creative team and Anna Wintour started seeing them as trouble. Because guess who else is heavily connected in Hollywood? Justin Baldoni. You ruffle enough feathers, big players take notice.
So while TMZ will have you believing they skipped last year, so them skipping this year means nothing, Blake was too busy hijacking this man's movie. Like, maybe had she not done that and just went to the Met Gala like she was supposed to, she wouldn't be in this mess. But no, they're not passing on the Met Gala this year. They are not invited. Let's be for real.
Ouch. That's a pretty ruthless call-out, but it lines up with what a lot of insiders are saying. Lively's demands behind the scenes rubbed so many people the wrong way, the invites simply started drying up. The Met Gala was just the most visible proof that the industry is stepping back. Another catalyst for the meltdown. People from press junkets, fans at premiere lines, and even interns on set have come forward describing Blake as cold, unapproachable, and basically acting like she's above it all. That girl next door brand? A mirage, apparently. Let's not forget the sudden hush from her longtime pals like Taylor Swift and Gigi Hadid. The rumor mill says they've cut off contact, and when your big name's besties pretend you don't exist, that's a giant red flag. Are they jumping ship before the full meltdown tarnishes them by association? Probably. People are also wondering why Ryan Reynolds is so quiet about everything. He's famously witty, right? Yet these controversies swirl and he's basically MIA or dropping non-answers. Let's just say if your comedic superhero persona is overshadowed by real-life scandal, you might want to keep your head down. We do have some rather entertaining commentary from folks who are definitely not afraid to spill.
But for the first time ever, we have some explosive bombshell information. The information is such a plot twist that Ryan Reynolds filed his motion to dismiss himself from the lawsuit, which is basically saying, Your Honor, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Please allow me to exit the room.
So, apparently Ryan Reynolds tried to slip out of the lawsuit quietly, even referencing Mean Girls. Not exactly the best look if you're trying to keep things classy. And yes, indeed, the judge said, Nope, you're staying right here. That's typical for these large-scale suits. You can't just say, I was only being supportive, and walk away.
Blake Lively then filed her own motion to dismiss herself from the lawsuit that she created, and she seems to be getting some very bad legal advice because she seems to be under the genuine impression that there's a legal loophole that exists where sexual harassment is the only type of allegation that someone can make falsely against another person and face absolutely no consequences for. So that is basically her entire argument. It was not persuasive at all.
Let that sink in. They're literally trying to backpedal out of lawsuits they initiated or escalated. It's meltdown city over there. And this just cements Anna Wintour's likely stance. You want to drag me or my circle into your legal fiascos. Hard pass on the red carpet invites. One of the more bizarre chapters in this saga was the couple's attempt at a comedic spin during SNL 50 back in February 2025. People expected them to poke fun at themselves, maybe calm the rumors with an in-joke or two. Instead, the vibe was unbothered arrogance. Folks in the live audience described it as delusional and uncomfortable. This was supposed to be their big chance to prove they weren't imploding. Instead, it came off like they were ignoring a 5-alarm fire raging behind them. In the weeks after, the narrative wasn't about how cool or funny they were. It was about how out of touch they'd become. Hollywood hates controversy when it overshadows the product. Studios consider Blake and Ryan a risk. Why cast them if half the focus becomes about lawsuits, allegations of rudeness, or behind-the-scenes sabotage? Brands, likewise, fear negative press if they keep them on board. So, ironically, being banned from the Met Gala might be the least of their problems. Once the industry collectively decides you're too difficult or too toxic, that's basically a blacklist effect. The million-dollar question: can Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds bounce back from this meltdown? Possibly. Hollywood has short-term memory sometimes, if you do the PR cleanup right. They'd need sincere apologies, real accountability for that plantation wedding, and, maybe stop hijacking other people's movies. Or they can do the underground rebrand. Lay low for a couple of years, let new scandals from other celebs overshadow them, then quietly pop back up in a small indie project. That might work. But will the public forget the fiasco? That's iffy. And let's not forget the Justin Baldoni factor. If he continues to climb the Hollywood ranks with successful projects, nobody's going to want to side with the folks who tried to overshadow or sabotage him. So they're gambling with this career war, and so far it looks like the house is winning. And by house, I mean everyone except Blake and Ryan. So there you have it. The meltdown, the ban, the lawsuits, the jaw-dropping plantation wedding controversy that just won't go away, and the near-complete radio silence from big celebrity friends, from Gigi Hadid to Taylor Swift. Are we witnessing the final chapter of the Lively Reynolds empire in Tinseltown? Or do you think they'll manage a Phoenix-like comeback once the dust settles? It could go either way, but as of right now, Anna Wintour has spoken, the studios are backing off, and the fans are going, "Wow, we never knew you were this messy." Let me know in the comments, should Anna Wintour have given them another chance? Do you think they'll truly apologize for that plantation wedding fiasco? Or maybe you think this is all a big overreaction? Spill your thoughts below because this saga is definitely not over. And if they try to slip back into the Met Gala next year with a half-baked PR stunt, we'll be here to roast it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next big celebrity meltdown. Because trust me, Hollywood never disappoints. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.